Hello, welcome to today's session. In this session, we discuss resonance. In the previous session, in the previous class, we deal with the forced vibrations, and this is the special case of forced vibrations, and that is known as resonance. In all, the session is dedicated to resonance and sharpness of resonance and phase of resonance. Now, what is resonance? We deal with the forced vibrations, and we find that when a body vibrating with free period, that means body performing free vibrations, is acted upon by a periodical force, then after some time the body vibrates with the amplitude of vibrates with the period of the applied periodic force. Such type of vibrations, we know that the forced vibrations. Now, if we consider a special case of forced vibrations where period of the applied force is equal to period of the free vibrations of the body, in that case the force helps to increase the amplitude of the body continuously, and after some time the body vibrates with the maximum amplitude. Such type of vibrations are called as resonant vibrations, and the phenomena is called as resonance. In case of resonance, in such case of resonance, the applied force is in phase with the free vibrations of the body. If in a single sentence we have to define the resonance, then resonance is the vibratory motion produced in the body by the influence of the periodic force, external periodic force, when their time periods are exactly equal. That means time period of applied periodic force and time period of the free vibrations or vibratory motions of the body is exactly equal. Now we are familiar with the expression for displacement of the forced vibrations, and those are given by the formula presented here. If the amplitude, if it is the case of resonance, then amplitude will be maximum, and the amplitude in this case is equal to f upon square root of this mu square p square plus in bracket k minus mp square and bracket square. So this is the complete amplitude, and this amplitude will be maximum in resonance, and this is possible if the bracketed terms, that is k minus mp square whole square. So in short, k minus mp square, this term becomes 0, and this is possible if k is equal to mp square. That means p square equal to k by m or p equal to under root k by m. And what is under root k by m? So this is simply equal to omega, that is angular frequency of the free vibrations of the body or angular frequency of the vibrating body. That means the angular frequency of a vibrating body is equal to angular frequency of the applied periodic force. That means frequency of force is equal to natural frequency of vibration of the body. In that case, the amplitude of the vibrating body is maximum, and it is known as resonance. Now, what is amplitude of resonance then? If we put here the bracketed term 0, then amplitude of resonance is simply equal to f upon under root mu square p square, that means f upon mu p as it is stated here. And what is p we have derived? That is equal to under root K by M in case of resonance. Okay, so then we can write by rearranging it as F by mu under root M by K. So this is amplitude of resonance. Now let us define another term, that is sharpness of resonance. It has been observed that the amplitude is maximum when it is a resonance. That means frequency of applied periodic force that is equal to natural frequency of vibrating body. That means P equal to omega. At this case, the amplitude is maximum, and when P deviates from omega, okay, the frequency, the amplitude falls. When P becomes greater than omega and when P becomes less than omega, that means on both sides of P equal to omega, the amplitude falls, and this is called as sharpness of resonance. In short, the fall in amplitude with change in frequency on either side of maximum amplitude, that is called as sharpness of resonance. This again we will clarify by the graph of the resonance, that is frequency versus amplitude graph. Now we are familiar with the particular solution of displacement in case of forced vibrations, and that is given by this equation here. Let us call it as equation 1. This is the equation of displacement. If we differentiate this with respect to time, we obtain the velocity that is given by dy by dt equal to this, that is equation 2, where simply this sine function becomes cos, and here the p will be there, p, that is the what you say coefficient of t that will came in the product, and this will be dy by dt. Now since this is a velocity, now when this velocity will be maximum, this velocity will be maximum when this cosine term is maximum. And what is the cosine term, maximum value of this cosine term? That is simply equal to 1. So by putting cosine term as equal to 1, we obtain the maximum value of velocity, and let us denote it by dy by dt max, and this will be equal to this by putting cosine as equal to 1. And when the velocity of a vibrating body is maximum, when it is at mean position or it is crossing the mean position, then its velocity is maximum. And when the velocity is maximum as represented in, when the velocity is maximum, that means the particle is crossing the mean position, the kinetic energy is also maximum, and it is given by half m into the square of the maximum velocity. And if we substitute the value of the maximum velocity from equation 3, here we obtain the equation 4. Now what about the applied force, applied periodic force, that is, let us call it as a driving force. The minimum value of driving force is 0, and the maximum value is when the sine term is sine term is 1, and in this way it is equal to its amplitude, that is capital F. So mean square of driving force will be the square of the minimum value, that is 0, plus square of the maximum amplitude, that is f square, divided by 2. So it is a mean. So it is equal to f square by 2. Now the mean square driving force per unit mass will be f square by 2 divided by m, that is f square by 2m. Let us call it as equation 5. Dividing equation 4 by equation 5, we obtain the kinetic energy per unit force, and it is known as resonance R, and it is given by this equation here. Okay. If we solve this equation, we find the most solved format here, and if we rearrange the term by dividing numerator and denominator by m square, we obtain the expression, final expression for the resonance as shown in this equation 6. Now let us concentrate upon the bracketed term, that is k upon m minus p square. Here p is angular frequency of the applied resonance force, and what about k by m? We are familiar with under root of k by m, that is omega, that is what? Frequency of the vibrating body, free vibration, that is frequency, angular frequency of the free vibration. So this is simply omega square minus p square. So since under root of k by m is the natural frequency of vibrations, the term k by m minus p square is omega square minus p square, and it represents the natural frequency minus square of the natural frequency minus square of the frequency of the applied force. So in short, in other words, it represents the way in which the natural frequency deviates from the frequency of the applied force. And when these two terms becomes equal, that is k by m is equal to p square, then the natural frequency is equal to frequency of the force, and the value of resonance R will be maximum, and this maximum value is simply obtained by putting this k by m minus p square equal to 0 in equation 6, that is p square upon this term. So this is simply equal to m square upon mu square, that is m by mu whole square. This is the important result showing that resonance depends upon mu. Resonance is inversely proportional to mu, that is frictional force. If frictional force is more, resonance is small. If frictional force is less, resonance is maximum. And in absence of frictional force, that is mu equal to 0, resonance has a maximum value. Same thing that is explained here by means of the curves, resonance curves. Along the y-axis, where p by omega is equal to 1, the response is maximum, and when p by omega is greater than 1 or less than 1, that is on both sides of p by omega equal to 1, the response decreases. When frictional force is absent, that is mu equal to 0, the value of R is infinite, as it is shown by the curve D here, and the sharpness of resonance is maximum. Now, as shown in this figure, here there are three curves of resonance are shown: curve A, curve B, and curve C. For curve A, mu is large, while for curve C, mu is small. You will find that the sharpness has been increased with the decreasing mu. Okay, when we are going from curve A to curve C, mu is decreasing, but sharpness is increasing. That means sharpness of resonance increases with decreasing mu. Let us look at the phase of the resonance, that is the next article we will discuss in the same session. Let us consider the special case of pendulum, where pendulum A is suspended from point O and pendulum B is suspended to pendulum A. And when pendulum A is set into oscillation, so this is the case where pendulum A is connected to point O and pendulum B is connected to pendulum A. And when A is set into oscillations, it impresses the forced force upon B and set it into oscillations. Initially, the amplitude and phase of B depends upon a relation between period of B and period of A. And how is this possible? Let us look at in three different cases, out of which the first case is when natural period of A is greater than natural period of B. And we know that natural period of A will be made greater if length of A is greater than length of B, as shown in figure 1. When A is set into vibration, initially the vibrations of B are regular. That means when A is set into vibration, it forces pendulum B to vibrate. Initially, the vibrations of B are irregular, but soon the vibrations settle down and B vibrates regularly with the same period as that of A in phase, but important to note that in phase with the A. Okay, so as shown in this figure, period pendulum A and pendulum B are in phase, but important to note that the amplitude of pendulum B is slightly higher than the pendulum A. So this is the case where natural period of A is greater than natural period of B. Now if both the pendulum have periods equal, what happens in that case? Okay, this is the simple. This is the case of resonance where amplitude becomes very great, theoretically infinite, but practically amplitude never becomes infinite due to presence of frictional forces. So this is the case of resonance. And let us see the third case where natural period of A is less than natural period of B, and this is possible when length of A is less than length of B. As you can see here, length of B is more than length of A. When A is set into vibration, it forces B to vibrate. Initially, the vibrations of B are irregular, but after a certain time, B vibrates regularly with the same period as that of A, but now in the opposite phase. As you can see, A and B are exactly in the opposite phase. So it was the today's session. Thank you for your concentration. Thank you very much.